Hi, this is Sarah Caro, and today I'm presenting my consultant challenge. In a situation where a district has budget cuts, but they need to find best ways to teach and support English language learners. So English language learners, or ELL students, tend to be Spanish speaking by as much as 80% in the country and in some states. That means that there's 3.8 million ELLs that speak Spanish. Most of these students are born in the US and are children of immigrant parents or first-generation parents who do speak Spanish at home, but the children have not received a formal education in reading and writing this language. So that means that they are lacking academic language in both their native tongue and English, which makes it difficult because they don't have a point of reference when learning vocabulary in school. In Illinois, ELLs are identified by a home survey. Once the parents checks off that they speak another language at home, then the student is screened with a grade level assessment. If they are found to be not proficient, then they are identified as ELLs and they get support. Each year, they have an opportunity to exit the program once they receive proficiency in listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In general, Latino immigrant and first-generation families have positive views of education and want their children to do their best. But one issue that comes up is that these parents are not able to provide support when it comes to the curriculum or homework. And oftentimes they're not actively involved in school functions because of their economic and language barriers. So there are a few instructional models to support ELLs. One of them is the transitional bilingual instruction, where a bilingual teacher builds English skills while also supporting the retention of native language. Another one is a dual language immersion program where students are taught in both languages all day. But both of these require the hiring of a bilingual teacher. That can sometimes be difficult to find teachers with that background, and it can also be very costly because you have to pay a teacher and have a separate classroom. So the model I would recommend is that ELLs are taught and supported through a pull-out program. I would suggest that a classroom teacher be taught best practices for teaching ELLs in order to support them in a mainstream setting. This is not required by the state of Illinois, but I would highly recommend it as your consultant. I also would have an ELL teacher who's endorsed pull out students for intense English instruction in the areas that they're lacking in. So best strategies that classroom teachers and ELL teachers should have are being able to scaffold academic language, lessons, and so on. They can do this by using their first language, promoting them. Ask the students, how do you translate that in your own language? Doing a lot of read alouds, modeling and gesturing so the students can learn visually. Scaffolding instruction by having sentence starters or graphic organizers to help conversations flow and students have a resource to go to when needed. And very importantly, have as much small group and partner work as possible. This allows for conversation in being able to use academic language often. Also, connecting the curriculum to their background knowledge is helpful. It gives them a point of reference. So I've mentioned academic language a few times, and it's very important that this area is increased. Academic language is used in textbooks, essays, assignments, classwork, presentations. It's used in all grade levels, and it increases in frequency and difficulty as the students get older. An example of social language, if you do well, if you are doing an experiment and it goes well, you might say it worked. But in academic language, the student has to understand the words, the experiment was successful. So it's picking up on those verbs and nouns that are not used in everyday conversation, but are used in the academic world. So those are my suggestions for a district that is having budget cuts, but needs to continue to support their large ELL population. Thank you so much.